My name is Kelly Rubach, and I am the head of executive search here at GForce. For today's episode of Ask GForce, I wanted to talk about a common question that comes up on the client side and on the candidate side. People often ask, why should I work with an agency versus going directly to the company or to the candidate themselves? There's numerous advantages to working with an agency, but today I really wanted to talk about the upside in terms of brand awareness. Our executive search team works with small to medium biotech that are in growth mode, often before their first commercialized product. And that really means they're just starting to expand their name in the area and therefore really their brand awareness. On the candidate side, we work with candidates coming from big pharma or small biotech where they might have worked over the years and thrive in that space, but sometimes that brand might get misinterpreted through just their resume. So on the client side, I often recommend working with an executive search team when a role deserves first-class attention. Whether you're still in stealth mode or perhaps have gone through a major transition, a top candidate might not have you on their radar, but perhaps they should. An executive search team should really become an extension of your talent acquisition team. It's important to make sure they understand and are willing to spend the time to tell your story with the same level of passion as your internal team. That also means rounding out the story that might be online or just on your website. A few things that I feel are critical to understanding the clients that I work with include why or how they were founded, the science behind their pipeline, as well as their long-term growth plans. In addition, small details really round out a biotech's personality. Perhaps exactly how their name came about, how it's supposed to be pronounced, or even why they put certain things on their website versus not. Walking through any recent news is also a good reason to utilize an agency, as they can really expand on the story that might have come out online last week or even a few months ago. When we go out to search, we talk to dozens of candidates, and each time it's like a mini commercial for your company. As a client, you want to make sure they understand and hear the whole story versus making a decision just on the information they found through a few clicks online. For example, I had a client who had a misstep in their clinical trials just a few years back. What had happened since then was a complete turnaround and actually resulted in a blockbuster status. When I got on the phone with candidates and told them who the client was, most of them did not want to proceed until we went through their recent developments and milestones. On the other side, on the candidate side, working with an agency can improve your brand as well as increase your chances of getting the role as you now have a voice versus just a resume. In essence, we want to become your agent and work hand in hand with you to make sure you are represented well throughout the entire process. We're able to make sure that we increase your brand awareness as a leader in the market and not just that resume that comes through online. A few things that I feel are critical to understanding a candidate's brand include career progression and career changes. Also, reasons for looking for a new role and a deeper understanding of why their background can fit the company and the position. Often, when a hiring manager looks at a resume, they can make assumptions regarding career progressions and changes, but by working with an agency, we become your voice and tell your story. It's hard to rely on a hiring manager to keep up with market changes, acquisitions, and spin-offs, and sometimes a resume can look jumpy when in fact it's not. For example, I had a candidate who had made what seemed like many changes over the last 7 or 8 years. But it turned out to be a series of acquisitions and spin-offs. And really, what looked jumpy on his resume was actually a really lovely story about how someone had stayed with an organization through many ups and downs and over time. And you might say the hiring manager would know those things and be able to look them up. But again, by working with an agency, we become your voice and your agent and are able to represent you in the best light possible. So in conclusion, one of the reasons to work with an agency is to really increase your brand awareness as a client and as a candidate. Think of it as putting a voice to your website, your resume, and any recent news and articles or questions about your background. Thank you.